Yeah.
Too much, but still.
No, I mean, against them, to not allow them to have a 30-point quarter and then the 23 in the fourth, like that was, indicative of how hard we played tonight. And I think it's because we have a great deal of respect for how they play. I don't want to disrespect anything from the past, but the guys that they've added complement Fox. And if you don't bring it, they can run up 130, 140 on you because they score so quickly. And he's a jet. And so I think our guys had a healthy respect for how good they play on that end of the floor. And then I just thought we played hard from start to finish. Even when they made a tough shot, they made some crazy threes tonight. Our guys just stayed the course and went down and executed whatever coverage they tried to execute against us. I thought we did a really good job of finding the open man. Hence, we had 33 assists and Chris had 19. And so overall, it was a well-balanced game for us, complemented by how hard we played from start to finish. Yeah. Well, some of that was just because we hadn't done anything. We gave them 2 days off. And even though guys were in the gym, they really hadn't played since Indiana. Travel and, Super Bowl and all the stuff that was going on, I'm sure no one really had their legs. And so for us to be able to play with that kind of force for as long as we did was, spoke to how much they wanted to get that win, especially coming off of a bit of a break. Sometimes you have a lull after a few days off, and we just didn't see that, especially on the defensive end.
The reaction of the fans, to Kevin when they showed him.
Man, I couldn't.
Well,
I thought I heard it, but I heard it too late. So I thought it was somebody in the crowd that they were talking about, and then I realized they were introducing Kevin. Tells you how. Yeah, I'll leave that alone.
To this point, did it feel like there was a certain energy and excitement coming into this game? I know you talked about the break, but it just felt like.
I think so. I mean, the guys that left, everybody knows how we feel about them, but we also feel an affinity for the guys that came here. They understand what we're trying to do. It's pretty cool to have a guy on your team that pretty much everybody on the team looks up to. You know what I mean? I mean, you basically have two of them with Chris and KD. And so I think it creates something, and I can't even explain it. It's just pretty cool to watch when you have high character, high level basketball players in your gym that love the game and they want to get better every day and they want to see guys around them get better. Again, I don't have a word for it, but I know when I'm in the gym, I can feel it. I'm like, these guys look up to Chris and KD, but they also understand that, we're all on the same team trying to, do something pretty cool here.
The amount of weapons you guys have, defense taking for a lot tonight, it was them showing and then giving DeAndre some space. How did you like how decisive he was?
I just thought, he's starting to understand how strong he is. There were a number of times when he got the ball, some would say too high in the pocket, and he took a dribble or two and hit Sabonis in the chest. And those are two big, strong guys, and they were just banging each other all night long. I thought he made quick decisions, but he also made the right reads in swinging the ball to the backside. And, anytime those two get after each other, it's a heavyweight fight. And I thought DA did a really good job of taking the physicality to Sabonis, and Sabonis did the same thing to DA a few times. So you just, watch those guys banging like that, and you're hopeful that you come out on the good end of it. And I thought DA just did a really good job of staying the course. I thought he was getting pushed a little bit early in the game, and he was getting a bit frustrated, even though he was making the shot. And then he started to read the game like they were just calling it that way, and he stayed within himself.
One of those nights where it felt like Josh was everywhere just like making 0.5, or you had to bring it all.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out ways to, use what he brings to the table. The defense has been spectacular. The offensive rebounding, timely offensive boards, and then, having enough versatility to get the ball down the floor so that Chris and Book don't always have to do it is something that we've been trying to work on all year long. The pain of the playoffs last year and even the year before that has taught us that you got to have multiple guys facilitate offense. And so I think it's, manifold or multifold, if I can get the word right. You just get somebody else to bring it up, but you also give Chris and Book a break. And that may be able to, give us some options as we go forward.
How many situations you kind of see Josh in, whether it's different lineups starting there and then changing it? Where do you most look for in kind of the last 20, 25 games of the year?
I got an open mind about it, to be honest with you. I think there's going to be some games, we're not quite sure how we're going to do it, but there may be games where he starts. There may be games where Torrey starts, depending on the size of that guy. But right now, he's filling that role as a guy that can, defend guys his size or smaller, and even some guys that are a little bit bigger. But we don't get happy on the farm about it. It's been a few games. We still have to incorporate some more guys to see what type of team rhythm we can get as we, go into this last stretch.
We haven't had a chance to even talk about Devin Booker yet. He goes out there, he gets 32 points
Yeah.
in 29 minutes.
Yeah.
He looked as healthy as he's been since December.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
He's got a bounce about him, we don't even have him to his full complement of minutes yet. And that's going to take us some time to build him up to that point. But I just think the ability to make shots that no one else can make on your team is something that not every team has. And I think when he makes shots like that, it gives everybody a lot of confidence. A lot of basketball is not about plays. It's not about schemes. Sometimes on offense, you got to be able to give the ball to a guy and let him do what he does because they're gifted. And he and Chris are amazing at that. I thought the three that Chris hit in the corner, I couldn't see it because the coach stood up and I just heard the crowd go off. And I was like, I couldn't believe he made that shot. Book had like 5 of those tonight. And, having Kevin on the team, you had another guy. Those guys are just gifted. I think that's what you saw from Book tonight. He was fresher. And that's something that we may have to talk about, playing him less minutes so he can play that kind of basketball for longer stretches. But he's about as stubborn as I am, so I don't think that'll be a long conversation.
What you see with TJ, those spot minutes that he was out there, obviously, 4 years ago, he was here as a number 2 option in the Book, but then go back as a veteran, his team, different system.
I mean, it's his first game, so he's another guy that can, you can throw him the ball, and he can make something out of nothing. He's got a scorer's mentality. We put him in a tough spot tonight on the backside of our defense. Even though we've drilled it, we haven't played live enough to get him the reps that he needs on defense to execute it well. But it's something that we're going to have to learn about him as we go forward. But he's a guy that can score the ball. We all know that. Yeah, probably the way the game presented itself. People don't give him open shots. It's a rarity when he does. And in games like tonight, like he probably, if he wanted to get one, it would have been off the dribble, but he didn't need to. He was attacking the rim and getting to his spot, so he didn't need to take any tough threes tonight.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Throwing must be feel pretty good for you to be one hand in it way back. I'm just curious how you feeling.
Yeah, man, I feel good. It's been a long recovery road, and something I found peace in, and just enjoyed the whole process of it. After the first week, it's kind of like, all right, I'm here now. Let's get the most out of it. So a lot of strength training, a lot of leg work, and tonight I felt really good.
Just overall, just the way you guys defended, what would you say was key to slowing down a team that's used to getting 120, 130?
I'd say just matching their physicality. They play a real physical game. They play fast. You know, starting with the head of the snake, De'Aaron. You know, he played really well tonight, but you know he's just making tough shots. You know, he's a great player, and you know, trying to keep Sabonis off the glass, and you know, trying to fight over his screens isn't the easiest thing to do either. So, you know, we didn't come in here half-assing it. We know what they're capable of. They've been playing really good basketball the whole year.
Curious, you experienced this fan base since you've been here. It's just like either reaction to Kevin when he got another.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching him more than anything. You know, I don't think people realize what it is until you're in it. And you know, I think he got 2 standing ovations, and it's not going to be the last one. So, you know, he deserves that. He's a legend in this game, first ballot Hall of Famer, everything all the way down the list, MVP, and you know, I'm glad he's here. Hopefully, he can call this home one day and you know, rock out here the rest of the time.
You talked about pick your poison with the offense, different kind of poison you guys are about to have, but with DeAndre tonight, how'd you like him in those spaces for Sacramento?
Yeah, he's making it tough on them. They want to be up and, you know, show those blitzes or halfway blitzes, and, you know, he's getting a hit on our man, and then he's finding the open space, and you know how he is in that mid-range to, you know, little paint areas, automatic. So, you know, we try to play to everybody's strengths, and that's one of his. So, you know, when he has space in that pocket, you know, it's money.
Do you see Josh getting more comfortable in 45 and the playmaking?
Yeah, I mean, he's realizing that teams are probably putting their lesser defender on him every night, and he's making them pay. You know, he's making quick decisions. You know, he's not hesitant about anything. He's catching it, and he's putting pressure on the rim, and they back up off him. He's just taking what the defense gives him.
Obviously, there's no replacing a defender like Mikhail, but what have you liked about the way Josh has kind of attacked that point of attack defense to you guys?
Yeah, I knew what he was capable of. I mean, we put him on De'Aaron tonight, which is a tough matchup, and you know, he's just making it tough on him. I've played one-on-one with him, you know, after practice and things of that such. So I know what he's capable of. He's a strong body. He's never off balance, you know, even when it looks like it. And, you know, he's going to be a little physical and make sure you feel him at all times.
That question. I was wondering about in terms of TJ, out there with the crowd reaction, subbed in. Obviously, it changed a lot since he was here. The 2 guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting, man. I don't know how many people get the chance to play in the city and then come back to it. So, you know, he's already beloved here. People know what we're getting with TJ. He's a dear friend of mine, somebody that I've kept in contact with. You know, I think he told everybody, but last time we played Brooklyn, we didn't even know anything about a trade. And he came over to the house and we just kicked it and, you know, talked about old times. So, you know, now we can make new memories.
The last question is about the connection with the Netflix. So,
yeah. So I wish I had it on tonight, man.
Yeah,
I wish I had it on. I know, it's crazy. I've met Flav. I've met him before. I always had a lot of respect for him. In the whole group, man. It's just, you know, I honor it's other legends. You know, I love meeting other people in different ways of life. And, you know, that's been entertainment for us our whole entire life. So it was dope. And Flow Rider. Don't put me on the spot.
Curious for you tonight, what was working for you to be able to have the kind of night you had?
Everything. You know, just having everybody out there, man. Long road trip, all the business decisions that's been happening, and us coming off that good road trip. I think that was the best road trip we had. You know, I think it felt good just to practice on our own in our own town, wake up in our own bed, and you know, knowing that everybody getting healthy and having booked 3 out there just to get this thing rolling it felt good. You know, we went in the lab and we polished up a few things, and tonight it was a defense rebounding game that helped create opportunities on the offensive end. You know, today for the first time I felt like we were on the break. You know, for the first time I felt that we actually ran the team down or try to run through a team, you know, scoring on the fast breaks, and, you know, just seeing Book and 3, having that chemistry on rebounds and Book being the first man now is like, okay, we're getting back to our norm. So yeah, it felt good.
You and Sabonis going back and speak to that matchup.
Yeah, I mean, he's an all-star, man. You saw me, you walked in pregame, I was watching film on him. And that's the first thing I said, that's the all-star, man. I gotta lock in, and seeing how the team outside run through him and how he runs the team, he's a big part. And just 3 and Book, putting me in positions to put pressure on the rim against them as well. It made it much easier to, protect the rim and, just be more vocal out there because everything was in rhythm.
Curious, you played before this crowd for a number of years. What was your reaction to seeing their reaction to Durant?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was saying it all game. But you can hear it. I think they couldn't wait to see him on the Jumbotron for real. That's what they were waiting for that. So I'm glad they did it in the fourth quarter, but just to keep everybody focused. But I know the fans are super excited. I mean, they came out there to see him. Just imagine when he suit up and ready to play. It might be standing room only. But other than that, I know the fans are super excited, and you're not going to take this for granted, man. And no excuses, none at all.
What about you? How excited are you?
That's the question I'm trying to answer my damn self. I'm really speechless, to be honest. We got KD. Ain't that something? That's what I ask myself all the time. Only thing I can do is possibly just make sure I'm ready to play, because he's gonna come ready to play and do what he gotta do every night. So me just making sure I'm an anchor on this team and just doing the right thing, doing the right things to contribute to a win.
He was one of your guys growing up, right? Or I don't remember saying him.
Oh yeah, most def. I ain't really telling the stories yet. I'm still trying to keep it player. But you know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have to find that some other way. But I ain't gonna tell them off rip. You know what I mean? But other than that, I'm super excited, man. It's still unbelievable just, coming in practice and you see same 7-footer, and it's KD. But everything's falling into place, and we making them family, man. He's it's coming slowly but surely for sure.
Check it.
Again, that's not.
I thought it was you, Dwayne.
DeAndre, in the first couple of possessions when Sabonis is showing, can you talk about the trust you have with Chris in that moment and doing like, okay, this is my night, they know what they're doing, and like I'm gonna get the ball myself.
Yeah, short rolls. We know it was gonna be a big short roll game tonight. We know Sabonis plays up. Their team plays up in generally. But knowing that there's gonna be a low man and it's gonna be a smaller guy. But me, I tried to make sure I didn't roll too deep. I made sure that Chris and Book could see me coming out of their blitz and make sure they have a clean outlet, and just trying my best to put pressure on the rim. I had some mixing floats, and I think I started off with a jumper, but it was all in the paint. And I felt comfortable. They found me in the right spots, and then stuff started opening up for them where I might not get the ball, but it's 3-4 people in the paint. I think Jo got some good looks as well where he was just wide open, and that's the type of pressure that that I think I'm getting back to, setting hard screens and rolling, and just bringing all the attention. And when we have everybody out there, it's going to be pretty hard to guard.
Everyone's excited about KD, huh?
Yeah, super excited.
How good is it to see Book kind of get his burst?
Oh my goodness, man! I think the dunk. I think he Jonathan there. Yeah, that's a welcome back for sure. I mean, you could tell, like, I know he's been on his little restriction time or whatever, but he be fired up. When he coming in out the game, in the game, that man be fired up, and he's just super competitive. I mean, like competitive to the max, where he might get on you for a little bit for tell him about his competitiveness, but at the same time, I'm just so happy because he's been putting in work while we've been on the road, and the times where he can't make the road trips, he's out there working, and I'm just finally glad he get to have an outlet and beat up on some people too. So, I know Book is gonna do his thing regardless. But we just been waiting for him, man, warming up the seat. That's about it.
What are some of the challenges and ways that DeMontis made you better tonight, playing against him?
Yeah, man. I treat him like Nicola. He's a guy who always have the ball in his hand, and you really can't guard him one way. They have so much so much stuff in their bag, and they get their team going. You know, the team moves around them, revolves around them, and you know, you just gotta trust your team behind you and know that, you know, he's your matchup for the night. And, you know, whether it's offensive rebounding, getting position on the post, like everything he does is, you know, it's something leading to a bucket or, you know, some type of, you know, play or situation to score, or, you know, make his teammates score, or get them better in any way.
What you see about TJ, you know, he got some spot minutes, but he back.
Man, TJ is, hey, yeah, that's Mr. Mid-range. You know, he's a bucket himself. I know he's gonna love the offense once it's really cleared up, and you know, once he really sees how our offense run, he's gonna understand that, yeah, when you get the ball in your hand, it's your turn to score, bro. Like, you know, our 0.5 and sharing the ball and, you know, just being competitive, he's gonna understand, okay, you know, we play fast and, you know, we play in spacing. And, you know, that's who don't love playing in space. You know, your man has to be honest and he has to be honest with him. So I think he's gonna find a great rhythm and understand that, yeah, this is how we play over here in spaces.
Yeah, what can you say is the difference between this offense and Igor's offense when you first came and we playing with TJ?
Well, my first offense, I didn't know what I was doing on the court. I mean, I just knew screen and roll, to be honest, and rebound and dunk. You know, game was too fast for me to really, you know, pick up on Igor's plays. And then I only had him for a year, but me and Mont grew up together to where, you know, the chemistry and the terminology that we use on the floor, you know, the offense is fluid to where it's so much space on the court. And, you know, having a player like Book of his capacity, just probably seeing 2 or 3 guys a night, you know, finishing my rolls as easy dunks and, you know, just paint touches all night. So, you know, it's very appreciative, you know, just having that chemistry. But Mont really instilled us on sharing the ball.
Yeah, you talked about earlier, you said about Sabonis being an all-star.
Yeah.
Is that one of your goals to be?
Most definitely. Most definitely. I'm gonna have to do everything I've been doing now. You know, me, I think I started off on the worst foot ever. On my career, just, you know, not playing the way I'm supposed to play, and, you know, then we were losing and stuff like that. But I'm just glad I picked it back up, you know, and I'm back to my norm. I even think I'm better than last year. But, you know, that is one of my goals, but it ain't totally my goal. My goal is to, you know, be on top of this world, to be honest, in the ring. And, you know, that's what I play for. That's what I sacrifice for, you know, and that's why I love to play, to be honest, knowing that, you know, I could get a chance at that.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.